Hi, you're welcome to this video again. We were talking about the targets for our goal, climate action, or addressing climate change, and we are on goal number 7 now. Now, goal number 7 states that not goal, target. Our target number 7. We have talked about our other goals 1 up to 6. Now we are on goal target 7. Now target 7 says take into consideration the need to pay less taxes for cleaner energies versus dirtier fuels or fossil fuels by avoiding overly optimistic technological determinism. That's according to my research. I say in the United States of America, or the US as I call it in my videos, the USA, the federal tax code includes more than a dozen incentives for alternatives to fossil fuels. These provisions support electricity production from solar, wind, and other renewable sources, and to a lesser extent from nuclear facilities. The alternatives also support alternative transportation fuels, especially electricity, and encourage energy efficiency in homes and commercial buildings. The federal government provides roughly US dollars 10 billion per year in tax subsidies that encourage non-fossil fuel. This is in the US. This is what is done in the US. We are continuing. Our target is take into consideration the need to pay less taxes for cleaner energies versus dirtier fuels or fossil fuels by avoiding overly optimistic technological determinism. And we are talking about what is done in the US now. In the US, the federal tax code includes more than a dozen incentives for alternatives to fossil fuels. These provisions support electricity production from solar, wind, and or other renewable sources, and to a lesser extent from nuclear facilities. The alternatives also support alternative transportation fuels, especially electricity, and encourage energy efficiency in homes and commercial buildings. The federal government provides roughly US dollars 10 billion per year in tax subsidies that encourage non-fossil fuel to fossil fuel. The two largest are the Energy Investment Tax Credit (ITC) and the Renewable Electricity Production Tax Credit, followed by incentives for electric vehicles and residential energy. On electricity production, it provides a one credit currently 10% for new investment in qualifying facilities. Solar generators are its main recipients, with smaller amounts going to fossil cells. Combined heat and power systems according to Dinan and Terry in 2017. Now, two very small tax subsidies also target nuclear energy. Existing nuclear facilities get a special deduction for some contributions to future decommissioning fund. A production tax credit for advanced nuclear power facilities is little used to that. I'm reading what is done in the US, according to Sherlock and Morris in 2017. The value of energy tax incentives for different types of energy resources. The tax code also provides a substantial tax credit to individuals and businesses who purchase or lease plug-in electric light passenger vehicles and trucks. The tax code also provides a substantial tax credit to individuals and businesses who purchase or lease plug-in electric light passenger vehicles and trucks. These people recognize people who do plug-in electric cars. Those who manufacture electric cars, they some share that they get. The credit starts at US dollars 2,500 and increases to US dollars 7,500 based on battery capacity, according to the Joint Committee on Taxation of the report of 2019. These remedies can some be adopted and or copied in African or developing nations and can effectively work towards ensuring a carbon zero and or reducing climate change to 1.5 degrees C of pre-industrial eras and its associated outcomes. Well, we may not be advanced as the US and or other European nations, but we can copy some of this. We should at least recognize someone who has done something sustainable. And we produce a lot of electricity here in Uganda. We have solar systems here in Uganda. We can turn sustainable by going sustainable, adopting these remedies, renewable remedies. Our last target. The indicators. The target is survived by 2 indicators, and this can be seen. Now, there are some evidences to this. The evidence is over increasing number of hydroelectric power generation dams and all plants, such as the Kira Dam. Now, in Uganda, we have lots of hydroelectric power dams and solar power stations, and they are increasing each and every time. Now we have the Kira Dam, we have the Karuma, we have the Bigoye, Mobuku, Beseruka dams, we have the Bujagali and the Simba dams in the southwestern region of Uganda, including the developments in solar power plants around the country, such as the Soroti Solar Power Plant that supplies over 40,000 homes, schools, and businesses around the Soroti area with low carbon and sustainable power, according to Uganda Electricity Transmission Company, UETLC. We have all these. Now the next indicator to this target, evidence of ever-growing budget, national budget that further recognizes the importance of power generation and used by allocating a bigger share of the budget to this sector, with Ugandan billions or trillions of cash for its development, indicates. Now Uganda's budget, we have a lot of advocates for renewable energy option, because the government is benefiting from electricity generation. We are supplying it to our neighboring countries. Now our budget, when they are formulating the budget or drafting the budget, they allocate funds to this budget. Yes, it might be less to international standards, but to our standards, that's what we can manage, and the government is really trying. And the evidence is the growing budget that is allocated into development of these renewable energy options also gives us green light that we can achieve this. Now our last target 8, full statement of the target says, embrace, develop and or adopt the climate smart agriculture concept, CSA, or climate resilient agriculture concept in the country. This is an integrated approach for managing landscapes to help adapt agricultural methods, livestock, and crops to the effects of climate change, and where possible, counteract it by reducing greenhouse gases emissions, and at the same time taking into account the growing world population to ensure food security, according to the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, 2019. It is the one that defines this climate-smart agriculture. It says this is an integrated approach for managing landscapes to help adopt agricultural methods, livestock, and crops to the effects of climate change, and where possible counteract it by reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and at the same time taking into account the growing world population to ensure food security. FAO 2019. The emphasis here is not simply on sustainable agriculture, but it is also on increasing agricultural production or productivity. The concept integrates three pillars of this concept of climate smart agriculture. Integrate three pillars of: 1, increasing agricultural productivity and incomes; 2 is building resilience to climate change; and CO3 is removing greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture. And this is good for Uganda since most of its greenhouse gas emissions are or were from agriculture. The smart climate agriculture concept further recommends the production of heat-tolerant crop variants, mulching, water management, shade houses, boundary trees, and appropriate housing, plus spacing for cattle in attempt to deal with the rising temperatures and heat stress, according to the FAO 2019, and then the IFAD. In order for climate-smart agriculture policies to be effective, they must be able to contribute to broader economic growth, the Sustainable Development Goals, and poverty reduction. In order for climate-smart agriculture policies to be effective, they must be able to contribute to broader economic growth, the Sustainable Development Goals, and poverty reduction. They must also be integrated with disaster risk management strategies or actions and social safety net programs. That's according to the World Bank in 2019, Anderson and Teresa 2014. You can also read the FAO 2019. Read Anderson and Teresa 2014 and then the World Bank. The indicators to the target, to this target, was the favorable climate in the country coupled with increased government support for agriculture and its smart practices like using locally available materials or organic manure through support activities and or practices such as the NSAF 1 and NSAF 2 projects in the northern Uganda, the NADS program countrywide, Operation Wealth Creation, Emyoga projects, the recent parish model, coupled with heavy finances and technical abilities, describe a positive trend towards achieving our target. Now, government is moving towards achieving this target because it has a lot of initiatives to address subsistence farming and then poverty. And when you read the FAO report and the World Bank report, they are saying you must integrate these measures for climate smart agriculture to become effective. You must integrate development and economic policies into your nationally for it to become a success. I thank you. Those were that was my research about climate action. I believe that in Uganda, what is affecting us is not it's mindset mostly, and then the reluctance. We are not really so bold in fighting climate change, but then even by the fact that we are just developing doesn't mean that we should leave everything to developed nations. That's why we are here to fight. That's why NSG is here, nurturing sustainable development, and we shall not back down. I shall not back down. I will try my best, do online sensitization as I'm doing, and then we are soon get into grass, and we shall start with schools. We shall go to different secondary schools and higher institutions of learning, trying to pass this message on. Probably we shall be joined by some group of elites, the UN officials, the GIZ, and other relevant persons from the government to help us drive our movement forward. I thank you for watching my videos. I thank you a lot. God bless you.